enjoying my Friday Mayorita, non-alcoholic Mayorita. It was just mayonnaise in a cup with like a lime.
Good God.
Whoa.
I know. I saw it. Was like, this is perfect for me. Especially after we had our.
I saw Duke's mayonnaise tattoo. It didn't look great. That's weird, huh?
I think the guy getting I'm still shocked.
Really? No.
Oh, there's and then like something for
How cucky is that?
you get a tattoo of a man who's a podcast host.
I understand, like your mother,
Yeah, your mom.
a deceased child.
But not Joe Rogan.
Well, cheers, you queers, and happy 85th episode of From Behind the Barcast, the podcast for bartending, service industry, and drinking in general. I'm Paxton, that's Clint, and we got Jeff. Interesting side note on the ones
No
and twos.
Moses, huh? Just Clint.
No Moses this week.
Just like Prince.
No Moses.
Thank you for tuning in, especially to the Windrose Cafe.
Thank you, Winrose.
This week, they will be broadcasting us on Thursday night at what time?
8:30.
So, as you're listening to us right now, hello, Windrose, and thank you, Sydney, for doing this.
Hi, Clint, who's also in the room.
So we're doing a few special things for this Windrose broadcast, and we hope it continues on. So we're making a shot for you guys,
We are.
and it's delivered.
It's called Shot Jacobs.
It's called the Shot Jacobs.
Shot Jacobs.
All right, we're going to tell you the ingredients at the end of the show. But anytime we say Scott Jacobs, excluding this time,
Yes.
anytime we say that name, pour a shot.
It's like the PB's Playhouse. Like,
Maybe I'll edit in some.
I'll bring a wacky wave inflatable arm flailing tube man. I just like saying that.
You really got that out.
I say it so well.
You did that. You said that better than poignant.
He practices in the mirror.
I say a lot of things better than poignant. I got it. Yeah. I won't ever say it again, though.
Also, thank you to the patrons for
Yes,
supporting
thank
us. You help us out a lot, and thank you, Ryan Sadowski, one of our newest patrons, for giving us some suggestions to
which
give you.
we'll talk about on the Patreon today. Some of his suggestions, some doable, some. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Also, we are on Instagram, and I looked on our YouTube analytics, and about 80% of the people who view our YouTube videos are not subscribed. So if you would,
Please
click that subscribe button.
If you watch a YouTube video, hit the like button, even if you don't like it.
Do you eat grapes? I know you're a wine guy.
I am.
He drinks his grapes.
Yeah, I like liquid grapes.
Certified wine guy.
Jesus.
But do you eat grapes?
I don't like buy them from the store.
That's a good idea.
But I will eat them.
That's a good idea.
On a cheese plate, I like grapes with a cheese plate, but
Sure.
I try not to keep cheese at the house. I bought cheese to make sliders. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
But here's the thing: I can't have cheese. I smoke weed. You can do with cheese real easily. Eat one. Eat one. I've eaten almost an entire pack of Kraft singles.
All right. Well, so this all happens at the Kroger. Okay.
Okay.
So I go to the Kroger, and they always have these wheels of brie.
Like you tell someone's over 35 because they call it the Kroger, the Kmart,
Hell
the
Kroger.
Walmart.
And they always have these wheels of brie that are marked down, but they never scan in the self-scan.
So I always have to go like, hey.
No, I just steal them.
Yeah,
I'm spending $80 otherwise or whatever.
I would never steal anything from the self-checkout.
Yeah. So I go into the Kroger.
I've never bought organic fruit.
And as I'm taking a right at the produce section, there's a fat old man in one of the scoots.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, he was not injured. He didn't have any casts on. He was just fat enough where he had to use the scoot. And this thing is like a tank. It's got the giant basket in front.
Oh yeah.
My man has his armpit on the side of the thing where the grapes are, and he's picking grapes.
And just eating them?
I don't like that one. He goes to the next one. He picks a green one, and then he picks a red one.
Does he touch it to his mouth?
He eats them, and he stuck his hands in at least 3 bags as I was walking by.
Oh.
I was like,
you're a better man than me because you know what I would have done? Went over there, took the key to the scoot and walked off. Like, you eat those grapes?
So I was like, I don't typically buy grapes from grocery stores. I'll buy them if it's like farmer's market or some shit that. Yeah. But anyways.
If you bought grapes at Kroger this week and got diarrhea.
Do you not wash your grapes when you get them home?
Man,
you can wash, but there's some things you can't wash off.
This is what I'm saying. There's things you can't wash out of your mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So I like the taste of, I used to like the taste of Fireball.
Mm-hmm.
Also that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then I drank it one night. And now, no matter what, I'll never drink it again.
We talked about this because, so I grew up and my dad's favorite gum was Big Red.
Right, yeah.
And that's the only gum we ever had in the house was Big Red. Mm-hmm. So when Fireball came out, I was like, no, thank you. I don't like cinnamon flavored things because It's look when you're a kid, you like anything with candy or whatever.
If
so,
it had sugar in it, you're
so
good.
you're just so I would just
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, I hate you.
It's funny because people go, "Oh, it's Fireball flavored." I'm like, "You alcoholic? That's cinnamon." I've seen that meme. I've seen that meme so many times. They're like, "Have you had that candy? It's Fireball flavored."
What is Goldschlager flavored like?
I think it was the same. I think it was cinnamon.
It was cinnamon, right?
Cinnamon, yeah.
It was just clear.
It's just not as poignant as cinnamon flavor.
I don't know.
Speaking of Gold Slick vodka, which was featured in the movie Superbad with Michael Cera.
Oh, yeah.
So that was their version of Goldschlager. It was called Gold Slick.
Gold Schlick.
I had a dream about Michael Cera the other night.
Ooh, as
He
you
was
do.
he was standing on the side of the road and he was looking really down. I was like, "Michael Cera, what's wrong?" He goes, I just don't know if I've accomplished anything, and everyone still thinks I'm 16 years old. So for like 10 minutes, I talked to Michael Cera. I was like, "Michael Cera, listen, you're a grown adult. You're a man. You've done really great things in your life." And he goes, "You know what? I think you're probably right, man." I was like, "Think about it. Scott Pilgrim, Superbad,
Other stuff.
other things,
This is the end or the end of the world or whatever. That was great.
Arrested Development."
Yes. Yeah. Great in that.
So I'm friends with Michael Cera
In your dreams.
in my dreams.
Hey,
in your
better to be
dreams,
friends with him
buddy.
in dreams and not
More of
be
a counselor.
You know who I'm not friends with?
Scott Jacobs.
Scott Jacobs.
Speaking of which, I talked to someone who's in the know,
Yeah.
that was babysitting for his children at age 12 to 13, maybe up to 14, with a point where her parents had to pick her up from Scott Jacobs' house. And he would show up, be like, "I'll be home at 11 or 12, would always show up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And like, this is a child. And
Yeah.
also her parents have to come get her. So like, hey man,
Oh, so so the babysitter was 12 to 13 years old.
She was the babysitter.
She couldn't drive.
yeah, so she couldn't drive.
So he would say, "Hey, we're done at 11." But were they really his kids, or did they? Or
That would be the ultimate troll job.
what
his
if he?
wife had gotten
What if
him.
he
Interesting
rented?
side note.
What if he rented kids?
Right? Well, he might have. So, interesting side note about that. He has an alter ego named Zane Marshall.
Oh.
That's a pretty good. I mean, it's no Chris Gaines.
No Chris Gaines. But I was like, Zane Marshall. And this person that told me this was not the babysitter, but someone related to them.
Yeah.
Was like, look, this was like his alter ego when he would go out. Like, he used to go play music. And like,
You know what I'm going to do this week? I'm going to dig up.
Zane Marshall.
Well, you got to do it, but you're probably better at doing your own research than I am.
I'll see if I can find Zane.
I wish we would. Yeah, let's try. Yeah, let's try and find Zane and see if we can get any of that music going.
I'm a Scott Jacobs in the streets and a Zane Marshall in the sheets. All right, so enjoy those 3 shots.
So this week, my Darren literally happened on the Tuesday night after our last week's podcast aired, and so I've had a few build-ups until then, but I want to keep that old one.
Mhm.
But I got a little revenge on some of my coworkers.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday. So yesterday was Sunday. We're recording on a Monday night. So my coworkers, they like to shotgun twisted teas. We've talked about it.
Mhm.
Spill them everywhere in the walk-in. I slip on it, whatever. So Saturday night, I was about to leave, and I walked into the walk-in to, just do a little quick tidy up because I like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
My job, I mean.
Your job, but
Yeah.
working,
It's cool.
cleaning.
It's cool. So I grabbed one, and it just spilled all over my shirt because they didn't shotgun the whole thing. There was 2 holes in it, So
God.
Sunday,
Holy shit!
I walked into work. Immediately, I went into the walk-in. I grabbed a high noon because there were no twisted teas, and I just don't like twisted teas. I walked behind the line in the kitchen. I looked everyone in the face.
Where all the perpetrators are.
Yes. I stabbed that high noon. Barely drank half of it because all of it got on the floor, and then I threw the can right at him. And then I stared them all in the face.
Challenging.
I like it. Get that high noon revenge.
So then I walked away, and then a little bit later on, Little Mike was like, "That was peak male performance right there." I was like, "I want you to hate me for that."
Stop appreciating me doing
Don't
this.
look up to that shit.
I want you to hate me for that. Come on, man. And then another one of my coworkers. This just happened last night, and this was just chef's kiss. So it's getting pretty late. The kitchen's about to close, and a couple gentlemen walk in. They're like kind of burly. They're like, "Hey, how long you got before the kitchen closes?" I was like, "You got 30 minutes, but try and order in like 15. We don't want to."
Yeah.
So they show up, and they're like, "All right, we got a couple friends coming." What's like 10 or 12 people that show up, and they're all burly dudes. Couple girls.
Burly girls.
No, they were normal girls. Finally, one of the guys was like, "Yeah, we're here for a police convention." I was like, "Oh shit." These look like SWAT team guys. These are like SEAL team guys.
That's probably why we saw the truck tonight.
Yeah, these look like SEAL team guys, not like police guys, whatever.
Not meal team.
Not meal team 6.
So they're over there. They all order. Everyone's being like super cool. All of a sudden, they're like, "Who's that dude with the belly over there?" And I looked, and it's Mike, full pregnant, and he's staring at me. And I was like, "Just don't look at him. If you give him attention, whatever."
He's like a velociraptor.
They weren't giving him any attention, so he decides to pick one of the bigger gentlemen and go start to try and pinch his nipple. Now, this seemed like he was an older black dude, so he seemed like the ranking.
You know who doesn't want their nipple grabbed?
Yeah.
Older black men.
Yeah.
Most men in general, but definitely not.
He seemed like their ranking officer, kind of. He was like,
You get him in charge, yeah.
And this dude's like, all right, so now there's 10 giant men starting to put their sights on Mike. And I had to go over. I was like, "Dude, they ain't playing this shit right now." He goes, "Oh, they ain't playing this shit." And I was like, "I'm sorry, I've done all I can."
Let him burn.
I immediately was like, if
at that point,
you want to whoop his ass,
all you can do is go
get
pop some popcorn. That's all you can do.
No, you need to pull out your camera.
He was so mad at me though. I was like, "Dude, you could have been in an 11-car pileup with these gentlemen. These 2 offensive lines could have just ran you over." And they were like, "Nah, he's cool, man." I was like, "No, he's not.
No, he's not. Don't placate him. Don't encourage him." Speaking of things that happen at Huckapoos, Friday night, drag show. And unfortunately, we lost a good friend. There's just been some losses around Tybee right now, and it's been rough, especially when you lose the unexpected. But just thoughts and prayers with the family. And afterwards,
we love our Tybee family.
Yeah, it was a Crab Shack, great show out. It was crazy busy. So during this, I need to get to this before I get to the drag queen because it's hilarious. So Joel Solomon is giving a little speech, as he does, because it was his buddy Frank.
He's a good orator.
Yes, very good orator. And goes, Timmy Wong couldn't be here tonight. This is like their other best friend because he's got COVID. And I start laughing hysterically because I knew he had COVID, but like to dox him to the whole place.
Wow! Oh wow!
And so I'm laughing, thinking, "Oh, this was a joke on purpose." Not really anybody else is laughing. I like high five somebody. They're like, "What are you laughing at?" So I went to Joel. I was like, "I love you, man." Talked for a minute. I was like, "Look, what you know what you need to do? Have an update. It's monkeypox."
Yeah, like lean into this thing.
So he got there later.
Me, I don't want to be the only asshole.
He went later. He was like, "We have an update. Actually, Clint found out that it's actually monkeypox." I was like, for the third time. Because he would do that to him. So
of course,
you gotta lighten up the mood or whatever.
I mean, but the full docs on.
That was great.
I could hear the cackles coming from the other side of the.
So we went to the poo afterwards. It was weird. People were like, "Are you going down front?" I was like, "I'm going to Huckapoos," and they're like, "Well, you come down front." I'm like, "I don't want it. It's raining."
If you're non-Tybee, down front just means the opposite end of the island of where Huckapoos
sometimes
is.
it feels like it's 30 miles away. It's 1.5 miles away.
But
maybe.
that we just call down front the opposite end.
This is
the
the north end, and then down front. Yeah. So it was raining. I didn't want to be out there, and there was a drag show at Huckapoos where Gino was going to perform. So when you get a chance to see Gino in a dress, you do it. So,
and it is Gino, Gino. That's
it was wet, busy, and look, they're drag queens doing a drag show in Tybee. It was Tybee Equality Fest weekend.
Yeah.
And it was wet. And I'm not saying these aren't great drag queens, but they don't wear high heels all the time, as ladies do, especially when you were pushing my size or bigger. And
so a lot bigger than you.
Yes, there was quite a few.
Yeah.
I had to like coax this one chick to go up there. I was like, "No, you're fine, you got this. Go, you look great." And like, I'm just getting nervous. I'm like, "Go up there and tear it up," and like slap her on the ass. She's like, "All right, straight guy slapped me on the ass." So, well, as things go, Fro,
straightish,
yeah, only straight when I'm sober.
So Fro was
front row. Fro.
I got hooked up with the front row
VIP.
Seats,
I like it.
At least he thought.
Which was an amazing, until the first one went down like the Hindenburg, almost taking out my legs.
Slipped off of the stage.
Off of the stage.
And I froze because it was like
froze. Hey.
Froze.
Now, was this not being aware of the edge of the stage or slipping on the stage and then tumbling off?
Well, I think it was a It was a multiple factor.
Okay, so it's slippery. Didn't know that. Yeah.
It was moist.
Yes.
And there were 4 to 5 inch stilettos involved. Mm-hmm.
And see, even at Huckapoo's, even not on the stage.
I wouldn't even do that on the ground at Huckapoo's.
Yeah, there's little holes everywhere. There's just
it's a rough endeavor to wear a pointed heeled shoe there.
And I was like, this is not going to be good.
Well, thank God it didn't happen again.
Oh no, yeah. And then like 2 later, we had the next one was amazing. She just totally just knocked it out of the park.
Were they like lip syncing anything or singing?
They were. Some of them were, yeah.
Like some singing, some just kind of dancing to music.
And there were a couple that it was their first time, and I'm like, this is not a good place for your first time. This needs to be a
just because it's wet and everything.
Yeah.
And after recently breaking my own ankle, that's all I could see was like somebody's going to break their ankle right here in front of me. Or even worse, they're going to fall on me and I'm going to break my leg.
What, were they recycling or something?
Oh, no, they weren't. They weren't trying to save the fucking planet.
If you don't know, Fro fractured his ankle taking out the recycling. So thank you for your effort.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm sure you planet Earth for a little while.
How many queens performed?
5 and Gino.
I'm not sure because I left after the third one.
6.
Well, see, here's the thing. I didn't know Gino was doing it because I offered to be his manager back in the day.
Yeah.
So our buddy Gino, he got asked to do like striptease kind of thing. Not full naked, but striptease. Yeah. So he did it, and it went really well.
And he's got the build of a lady.
Yeah, and it went really well. So I was like, dude, man, let me be your manager. If I won't even take any money. I'll just book you gigs,
Yeah.
So literally, like the next month, I had him 2 offers. I was like, hey, buddy, Gino, I got you here 8 o'clock at so-and-so. And he refused them. He's like, I wasn't serious. I was like, I was serious as fuck.
They're all serious.
You're going to have to show up now because I booked you.
I was like, dude, they were going to pay you $40. Let's go, man.
$40.
$40. I meant $30.
So, like we were talking about with like tragic loss and stuff like that, it's happened. It's happened around here. We've got hit with some of it, my roommate's been affected, much love to everyone out there. But whenever you have like grief in your life, sometimes you need that mental floss. And I've been using a couple things this week as mental floss. Number one, so I used to watch the Great British Baking Show. I mean, I still do whenever new seasons come out. I love that show. That's like the marijuana of self-soothing, like
the new Bob Ross.
But here's the thing: I can't be high and watch cooking shows,
right? Yeah,
because I'm like, I got to eat now.
So now they've got the Junior Bake Off which is with kids, which is basically the heroin of mental floss. It is a straight injection of happiness.
I remember the one with what's the mean guy's name? Gordon Ramsay.
Oh yeah,
and the kid couldn't get the jar open, and she went over and handed it to her dad in the crowd. And her dad reached over and opened the jar for her, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. So these are kids. So I watched 2/3 of an episode until the end when I saw their grubby little hands covered in like colored food coloring, and they're like touching everything. I was like, yep, never mind. I
don't want to eat it. I watch him make it.
Yeah. So then I went back to my old
anxiety restored.
But there is always good things to find. Like I try to find. Like when I spoke to the bereaved, I was like, hope you're doing well. Let's not talk about the same thing you've been talking about this whole time. Let's talk about something completely different. And just to get some mental floss, just to get away, because I'm good for distraction, because I am distracted.
I'd rather distract.
Yes. And because sometimes you don't need if you're talking to 50 people or 100 people about something, you don't need to have the same conversation over and over again. You need to sometimes have a conversation about something completely unrelated.
And if you as a person aren't aware enough that what you're doing to the bereaved by trying to drum it up all the time isn't sort of, out of place, be the distraction.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's so much better. I mean, people perceive that they'll think that you don't care about what's happened to them if you don't talk to them about it. Actually, it's the complete opposite. If you want to come to me and say, hey, Paxton, this happened. I would like to get your thoughts on it. All day.
Yeah, exactly.
But when I see you, I'm going to say, hey, I love you. What you doing right now?
Yeah.
I got some hockey pucks in the back. Let's see if we can microwave them.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Something like that.
I don't know. That was my Theo Vaughn moment. I don't know.
Yeah. Gang.
That's both arbitrary and intriguing at the same time.
Yeah, but sometimes you need to be distracted. Sometimes you need to talk about things.
Yeah.
But when someone passes away, next time you go out, everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh, so you have to hug everybody and you cry more. And like, when my mom passed, I didn't go out for like 2 weeks because I was like, I can't, because I'm just going to have to relive it over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that. So then I would just hide in the corner of the bar.
Right. And there's we talked about it before, the grief co-opting too.
Yes.
I love sincere people, but especially when grief happens on Tybee, there's a lot of co-opting.
There's a lot of co-opting.
You know, so
not like drag queens. There wasn't a lot of drag queen co-opting going on there, except for with his leg.
I love that Huckapoo's had that though, because they Pride Week here on Tybee, it started to grow until COVID.
Yeah, and then this year it was rainy as all shit.
Yeah.
It'll stop raining every day. Forever stop. Jesus, please help us.
That's such a weird juxtaposition though. Like you go from a memorial
To a drag
straight
show?
to a drag show, but I guess like if you want to have a fulfilling day.
Well, I couldn't remember the amount of drag queens because it got a little brownish around 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Cause I thought I left at 1.
You had a classic brownout?
I was told by my driver I left at 2. And then I remember being at home and I was like, I fed the dog. I remember that. And then I woke up and, as I do, I got some pho. And I got my pho well delivered, didn't spill. I actually got up and somehow had a magically productive hangover day.
Okay.
I got up, walked the dog, got the pho, ate the pho. And I was talking to my buddy James Gray about it. He goes, pho to you is like tea to the English. Makes you happy when sad, or you eat it to celebrate. And I was like, James.
Wow. Well done.
Great,
well done.
Great
well
quote
done.
there,
Where'd
sir.
you steal it?
He's full of. He's my friend from Kentucky. He's full of amazing anecdotes.
Mike's Tragic Mike almost said a haiku last night. He goes, Paxton, do you remember saying, living high gets expensive on high living? And I was like, what the F are you saying? I think that was a haiku. He goes, no, you said it. I was like, I didn't say nothing like that.
No,
never.
But he wants you to know
I was
that.
like, thank you for attributing a very unintelligent, poignant.
Thanks for not Scott Jacob. He's my haiku.
Hey. So I walked into so we have speaking of another show is Love on the Spectrum. That's a little bit of mental floss for you. So we have an autistic dishwasher at work, and he loves kind of mishmashing lyrics of songs. And I walked into the kitchen. Bobo, shout out. So he goes, I go, Bobo, is that your artistic expression of the song? And
your artistic expression.
Artistic. I didn't hit the R hard enough.
Not a
because
hard R.
I don't want to hit the hard R most times. Okay, thank you. I said, was that your artistic interpretation of the song? And pin drop, pizza stopped burning. Everyone turns it. I said,
People
and I was
stop shotgunning Twisted Teas.
Yeah. All of a sudden, the Twisted Tea goes back into the can. I go, I said hard R. But it's kind of on brand. I was like, look, I mean, I would say some shit like that, but people get misinterpreted sometimes. Just like, Mike thought that a 50-year-old black man wanted him to pinch his nipples. He just he just read the room wrong.
He read the room real wrong. He does that to me. I'm like, hey man, stop. I don't like this game. I don't play this game. I don't like the dick hitting game. Quit. We're adults now.
Yeah,
it's not funny.
Get
too turned on. Ass slapping it's fine. Ass slapping stays.
All right, I'm not an ass slapper, but
are you a good gamer?
Yeah.
You're a good gamer.
No, I stand by the Doug. That's my only.
Well, yeah, but you can't.
You're a master of the
I'm the master of the Doug, yeah. So for our newest listeners, if you don't know this, the Doug, as we performed at Huckapoo's, so
you guys have headlights this week?
if someone's hand is in an advantageous position where I can put my penis and testicles onto it, I will. And then I go, you got Doug'd, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
here it comes again.
So here it comes again, baby. So my most magical moment, I was watching someone give each other a low high five. And right as I was...
known as a low five?
Yeah, known as a low five. Right as I was walking up and as their hands clasped, also my penis and balls clasped right onto it. And I called it the Double Doug Rudder. And it will forever live in history.
Oh, it's such a good name. It's such a good name.
Double Doug Rudder. So if you're at a workplace where sexual harassment isn't taken seriously, try out the Doug. See how many people's hands you can put their penis.
That's
on.
completely his Uncle Rico story.
It's just back in '82. I'll tell
Al Bundy 5 touchdowns in one game.
Anytime somebody says the word Doug or Rudder,
he's automatic. He's on a boat. It's just captain's like half the damn trip.
They called me Twinkle Toes Doug. Man, come on.
So speaking of that, so I'm at work on Thursday night. That it couldn't work Friday because of the service. So I'm at work Thursday night, It's the end of the night. I have these two girls sitting at a table right by the stairs, and my boss comes up from downstairs, and I am bent over at the waist, stocking water into the wine cooler, like bottled water. And my boss walks up and was like, I really wanted it, because it's a female. He's like, I really wanted to smack you on the ass. And I was like, and the two ladies were like, you should have done it. I'm like, they would have been okay with it. They were like, we're okay with it still.
Okay.
You definitely got to put the Pornhub. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, yeah. We might get copyright flagged for that shit, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty bad
certain,
about that.
like, there's certain, even sounds.
Yeah.
So, there's this video game, and
We're going to copyright the...
I guess we better.
yeah. Karen of the Week
There's this
song.
video game where when you die, it goes,
Mm-hmm.
if you use that anywhere but there. So a guy owns that sound.
Yeah. Yeah. There's.
It's like I'm loving it by
voiceover
McDonald's.
artist.
Yeah.
Do you know who made the McDonald's jingle?
Pharrell.
Close. Actually, you don't know how close you are. Pusha T from the Clips, also from Virginia, that Pharrell helped bring up, is the guy that wrote the jingle.
Da 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 da.
He wrote that jingle and makes like millions of dollars a year off. Da 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 da.
Do you think
I'm loving
Jared?
it.
Do you think Jared Fogle still makes money from Subway?
I think he's still getting footlongs.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's definitely getting
hey, we didn't even prep that, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you get here from behind the bar. That wasn't even a tee up. Well done.
Yeah.
Well, I just wonder. I mean, because
No,
like,
I'm sure they cut all ties. I'm sure there was a clause.
no, but
There was
he's-
a not fucking kid clause.
no, he's got a
Right
contract
down.
though. That's a contract.
Yeah, but you can violate your contract by like, I don't know, making dogs fights,
yeah,
fingering women in a massage
Yeah,
parlor.
Yeah.
if you do something that goes outside
The realms of
the-
regular
So
morality.
Subway hard line against
I'm sure they-
pedophilia.
I'm sure they-
hard
yeah.
line.
Hard
Hard line.
much.
That's why they don't
Pretty
have
much.
playgrounds.
But they'll bake that stink ass bread.
Yeah.
Mm.
And all that turkey meat. That counted. I heard it.
slimy turkey.
I heard it's like almost all turkey, like almost all their meat, except for like their crab
The
meat.
best part
Their
is-
crab meat is imitation crab meat.
I wish it would be turkey.
And then the tuna fish has 0% tuna in it.
Yes.
The tuna fish salad.
It's all fish.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
0% tuna.
If you say tuna is tuna, but once you say tuna fish, it's a completely different thing.
that's the thing. You can kind of get away with
You
that.
can get away with it.
There's a
tuna
lot of
fish.
little food things.
Yeah,
like that you can get away with.
I got this from Rogan, who I have a tattoo on my arm right here. Subway, they can't call it bread in Ireland. Ireland will not recognize
yes,
Subway's
yes.
bread as
Right.
bread because
Because
it's more than 30% sugar.
Because there's so
that.
much sugar in it, they can't call it bread.
what
I bet
do
there's
they
a-
call it?
It's a pastry.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah, pastry.
It's a
yeah.
pastry.
It's a
There's a
pastry.
sugar content level on like just for health guidelines. It's a pastry. So speaking of pastries, I'm hungry.
Yeah,
let's take a little quick break. I'm gonna
let's
go eat
take a
some
break
chicken
and
rice that I brought to
hey,
Paxton.
I want you guys at the Windrose to enjoy your Scott Jacobs during the break. We'll see you in a second.
Goodbye. So I've been doing some thinking lately, and I kind of want to get some things off my chest that I just think I can make some changes about stuff and kind of make things better for me and for pretty much those around me that I have to interact with daily. So
Well, it might be a picture, it might be a quote, or just an interesting anecdote, but as always, Jeff's interesting side note. Oh.
So interesting side note, we all know about the Queen of England who just passed away recently. She was the longest serving British monarch with 70 years, but she wasn't the number one. That honor goes to Louis XIV of France with 72 years and 110-day reign. So congratulations, France.
That was a very interesting side note, Jeff. Thank you so much. Informative. Very informative. Clint, were you saying something?
no, Scott Jacobs my moment. Hey! All right.
Wow, that was a interesting side note, actually. Thank you, Jeff.
It was interesting.
It's so weird how people care about the monarchy so much.
I mean, yeah, and they're grief co-opting the queen.
I know.
It
It's
was
like,
so hard. It was R.I.P. It's so sad. She was 96
Yeah.
years old.
and I don't know, like the reason you live to be 96 is because you're very rich.
And you eat a straw. She's a jam sandwich every day. A white bread jam sandwich
every
for
morning
lunch
I
every
have a
day.
jam sandwich, one half an egg yolk.
So I don't know which president it was, but Jamie can look it up. But one of the presidents, I think it was Bush Jr. or Senior.
Yeah.
I think it was Jr. because she would have been a little older. Went to go meet her for the first, or went to go like meet her as president for the first time, and she was like, "Let's go for a ride in my Range Rover," and like took him off roading in the Range Rover. And he was like, and she drives like she wants to because she's a damn queen.
Yeah,
it was
right.
like, just take it. He was just like, oh God, I'm gonna die.
Let me take you in a motor car around Derbyshire really fast, really quickly.
carriage.
with my 9 corgis. She had like 20 corgis, didn't she?
Yeah, maybe. That's how much she weighed. 20 corgis. I think that's their unit of measurement over there.
Would that be a covey of corgis?
Covey of corgis.
They're like 15 stone. What does that even mean? 20 corgis? Got that.
Yeah.
Speaking of something that weighed 15 stones, my poop after those 5 Big Macs.
Oh, man.
So I did it. I decided it was time I could do it again. I made Big Mac sliders for the fight on Saturday night where no one really came over. I mean, Shay and Troy, they came by and hung out with me, but like Martin was supposed to come. And I'm sorry. And I called Martin and was like, hey, what's up? He's like, hey, I'm in Huckapoos. You coming down here? I was like, nah, man, I'm going to stay at the house. He's like, oh, man, come on, please. I was like, I don't worry about getting home. He goes, Kelly will bring you back. I'll take care of it. Like, he was so excited about trying to get you there. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to go with this damn Fire Stick where I left at I guess 2 a.m. supposedly the previous day. And like, I know it was going to ruin the next day. I did it to myself anyways. But it's a pain in the ass every time we do it, especially when it's been raining and stuff. Like to get the Fire Stick
and the
to work.
outside TV. Well, you know,
I have to bring a booster
yeah.
to boost the signal to get it on the outside TV. And you can't hear it. And it was a pretty good card.
Well, Martine was up there, and I watched him in his exchange, like his text. He was like, yeah, I think he's going to come out. I was like, look, man, spoilers. Clint is not coming out here.
No, he was
if
here
he's
last
already
night.
got the fight on a TV in a comfortable house,
Yeah.
you think he's going to come out here to this rainy hot sumbitch?
Yeah. With like to bring my Big Mac sliders. So I made 8 Big Mac sliders using I made them from scratch. There wasn't, and pretty damn good.
Well, I was going to say, what's worse, a Big Mac or a Big Mac slider?
Well, Big Macs turn into sliders no matter what. They come sliding out, but no
gastrointestinal problems.
I mean, you talked to me on the phone. I don't remember half our conversation that night. So I was a little lit. Yeah. As happens sometimes.
So did you use like Hawaiian rolls or just?
I used the Publix Hawaiian rolls.
Okay.
So sauteed the beef and the onions together, sliced the rolls in half, put that on there, secret sauce, cheese, and then pickles according to the recipe, and then bread on top, a little bit of butter after about 10 minutes, and baked them, and they were great. And so I ate one and was like, I think it's too much sauce. So Shay ate like a corner one and was like, not too bad. And they ate a middle one and was like, it was just everywhere.
Oh wow!
I oversauce.
Did you sesame seed them?
I did. So
okay.
you
put the butter on.
You bake them for about 12 to 14 minutes.
Right.
Take them out, butter and sesame seeds everywhere.
Okay.
And then when you're really drunk later on, when you want to reheat one, you open the wrong side of the sesame seeds and just dump it on there, and you take a bite of just sesame seeds. You're like, God, Jesus!
Like untoasted sesame seeds. Those things are going to be in your teeth for the next year.
Yeah, they weren't in my poo. I went through it.
Oh, you were seeing if you were a candidate like Eric is for poo to you.
If I had sit on my poop, they'd have been like, no. There's all kinds of bad stuff in
Sir,
here.
you need to go to the hospital immediately.
I think you need our card. You need these services.
Yeah. So
or you need Jesus.
Speaking of cards, shout out to Studwell for sending us something on the Instagram account. A guest handed this to somebody. I don't think it was at his bar or another bar. It says Southern. It's got an American flag on the corner of the card. It's like a business card, but it tells you how to make his drink. Southern Comfort Manhattan, up in red, with sweet vermouth, shaken in red, cherry juice, 3 olives, slice of lemon, side of club soda. Here's how to make my drink. I can't explain it to you. Here's a card.
Have you not seen that before?
I've had it before.
I have not had
a
it
couple
before.
times.
There was one guy, it was called like Scott's, Perfect, except he,
Jacobs.
Oh, that counts.
Scott's Perfect, martini or whatever. And it was a laundry list. I was like, if someone ever handed me this card, I would swipe it down my butt crack and be like, no, no credit.
Let's get back to putting olives in your Manhattan, you weirdo.
Yeah.
That's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
That's sweet and salty.
I had a girl. So does Bacardi naturally make a dark rum that's not 151?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because she goes, I want something sweet and light.
The brown Bacardi is.
But I want it with dark rum. She was like,
it's like half dark. It's like Obama beige.
She pointed at our clear Bacardi and she was like, that. I was like, you want a dark rum? We have Meyer. She's like, no, I want the Bacardi. I was like, that's not dark rum. She goes, oh, well, never mind then. I was like, you can see the bottle.
Yeah.
It's entirely clear.
It's clear. I used to drink rum. That was when I first started drinking.
Yeah.
I used to drink a drink. It was called Jump. It was 10 shots of Wild Turkey 101 and 5 shots of Coke and a Jump Rope for Heart bottle. And it got called Jump. And I would just drink on that and that's enough to get you and another person there.
How bad did you hate your fucking liver, man?
So my grandfather drank Ancient Age or Wild Turkey.
Good
Okay.
stuff. Good
And
stuff.
Cokes. And I think I've told this before, but he would, every drink my grandfather made was a new Coke was opened. So there'd be like 4 flat Cokes laying out because he wanted like the instant carbonation. So when
Okay.
everybody went to bed and Clint was, we'll say 16, would start making drinks with it. And
Right.
drink. So I would drink flat Coke.
Flat Coke
And
with
Ancient Age or Wild Turkey, which, you know, kind of the, but it was, I remember like bringing it up one time and my dad was like, that man survived Nazi war camp for
Yeah.
like almost a year, got shot down in a plane, cut off 4 of his fingers.
Yeah.
He wants carbonated Coke.
Let him have it.
And there's
yeah.
Marlboro Light 100s.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Let him have
watched
it.
the Braves game on full blast and yell at Bobby Cox. It was just, it really enjoyed. He would turn his head, his bad hearing from flying a plane and
Yeah.
a plane captain and from working at a tire store. So like sometimes he could hear us, but he would just turn it off. His
You're
his
waiting
thing.
for that day, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's literally like the 2 worst jobs besides like a drummer or something. Like, well, I flew a loud ass plane in World War II.
Yeah,
where
World War
there's-
II, they weren't like, you need
there was not
ear
into-
protection.
It's going to sound deadening.
No, none at all.
My great grandmother was a huge fan of the Ancient Age as well. Big deal, Lucille. She
Big deal, Lucille. That's good.
She loved that.
Wiley Workman had a good one. Shout outs, Wiley. It was called the Aztec Calendar End of the World 2012 drink. You fit that on a card, but there was only 2 ingredients: Jägermeister and 5-hour energy.
Damn! That's a Jaeger atomic bomb right there. Jesus.
Yeah,
Jägermeister and 5-hour
Yep.
energy.
And then
But you can only have
I was gonna say
5-hour
one. I
energy.
think.
Does that
I
like
mean,
keep you up so you can make bad decisions
I guess
for a
so.
long time?
Dude,
Like-
I mean, we all remember the Jaeger bomb phase, and you would.
Yeah.
I remember just doing some bad things.
So I never the one time it affected me. Todd and Tammy, our oldest regulars at Huckapoo's, not the oldest in age, but been there the
In length of
longest.
time.
The senior.
They drank Jaeger bombs all night. They used to. So one night I went Jaeger bomb for Jaeger bomb with them, and I got home and had like a deep vein thrombosis. Like I had a full panic attack because I realized that I'd consumed probably 7 cans of,
Yeah.
and I used the sugar free.
But even then, you're still
Even
like,
then,
Yeah.
and I was like, I think I'm gonna die.
Yeah, shout out to Danny Rapiselli. That's probably the last time I did a Jaeger bomb was when he was working.
I don't even think he does them anymore.
No, he does
I had
not.
to totally give up the energy drinks altogether because that stuff is horrible.
It's so much
bad
sugar
for you.
too. So
Horribly
much
bad.
sugar and taurine. Your brain doesn't need all that. You want your brain also
I'm
doesn't
not,
need.
I'm not drinking a Finlandia and sugar-free Red Bull right now. That is.
Oh yeah,
not.
we're drinking, which I will bring to the Windrose on Thursday.
today, right now.
Today, right now. I've got you.
Hello,
But
future
I,
Clint.
I provided you with emergency to go with your vodka, so that'll be the drink this week, along with the
With the
shot
shot,
Jacobs.
shot Jacobs. We didn't say Scott though, so you don't have to take a shot.
Yeah,
at
you're
this
good right
point.
now. But speaking of Karen's-
one more drink though. We had a patron and friend of the show, Maddie Williams and Franklin, sitting at the bar the other night, and someone walked
ultra
up
patron.
and said, "Hey, could I get the blue thing that you guys make?" And Maddie goes, "Blue helicopter." But that person that ordered turned out to be nice, unlike.
Oh shit. It's the Karen of the week. It's the Karen of the week.
Shit.
It's our favorite time of the week. It's the Karen of the Week, brought to you by Inferno Hot Sauce, Thai Bean Coffee, and Sandscape for women when you're on the beach and you want to get the sand out of those empty
He's
bits.
saying scrape it out
To
of
the
there.
heel that never wounds.
Have another Finn and
I love it. To the heel that never wounds.
Finn and sugar-free Red Bull.
Yeah.
Right, buddy.
That sounds good. Yeah.
The heel that
So
never
do you
wounds.
wanna-
I don't care. It's up to you.
Okay. Well, you go ahead, and then I can get dressed.
Okay, gotcha. Mine's kind of short, and then whatever. So this happened literally Tuesday night.
Got it. Oh, all right.
Sorry, I can't see the monitor. Literally Tuesday night, after the last podcast aired, because last week I had to scrape for a Karen, and Karens happen all the time. But now that we're so used to, such dynamic and huge Karens, if I get a small one, it's like almost not worth mentioning. Well, Tuesday night, I worked my first shift by myself at the Inside Bar in like a month, the whole night. It's getting towards the end of the night, and these 2 guys come in. They were younger guys.
It was the earliest closing Tuesday in forever.
I didn't get out of there until like 3 because I'm so out of practice closing the Inside Bar. Tyler left before I did.
Holy.
Normally I'm locking him in.
He didn't walk you out?
No, well, he took my trash out for me.
Oh.
It was what a sweet boy.
Wow.
Yeah. So these two guys are in there, and they come up and they go, "Could we get 2 shots of well whiskey?" I was like, "Sure." I'd eat them. You know, they were like 21, 22, something like that. And they took
That's
them.
a young man's shot.
They took them, gave me $6. You know what it costs. I was like, you know, whatever, like one time thing. So I was like, y'all don't want like a drink or anything, because they didn't even have like water.
Just
Like
raw dog.
raw dog, a hot 10 high. Okay.
Yummy.
Not even ancient age.
Not even ancient age, my man. So then they go sit back down, and then they came up, and he was like, you know what? I will have a drink. I'll have 2 Tito's and something. I was like, all right, $10. He handed me $10. I was like, all right, next time.
Happy hour's over.
Mhm.
Yeah. Next time he comes up, he orders the same thing, 2 Tito's and soda. I was like, it's 10 or it could be $12. He was like, oh yeah, sorry. He goes, sorry, man, I'm a server. And the other day, this lady came up and she tipped me $105, and he showed me a $100 bill. And I was like, oh, well, that was sweet of her, you know. Like he was like,
to reward service.
he was like, yeah, we were out celebrating. We're out celebrating buying a new car or something like that. I was like, cool, man. So I make him his drinks, and then someone asked me for something. He goes, here you go, bud. And he just set something down onto the $10 bill.
So just he can't stop himself.
He did not tip.
A server?
After a server did not tip me after telling me that some person gave him $105 on a $20 tab. You, sir, are a fucking Darren, and I remember you.
We need to go find out where he works.
Yeah.
He wasn't wearing any kind of uniform. I wish he was, but it sounds like I don't know. But F you, sir.
Speaking of uniforms, my Karen came in with a uniform. It wasn't the typical uniform, except for it was this haircut.
Sure, of course.
Not as nice as this, obviously.
I like how you've done it this week, too.
Yeah,
It's very,
I got to hang to the right side.
Yeah.
I'm on my Crip side. So Karen and her husband, we'll just call him Darren for ease of speech,
Sure.
come in full drinks and to-go cups. And as I do at Circuit, if you come in with a drink from outside, I give you a glass we have to pour it in there. And so she's got a full drink. He has a Yeti packed. Full. He goes, can I get a cup with some ice? And I was like, sure. And I give it to him, and he pulls out the Yeti and proceeds to pour it into the cup, and he makes a drink at the table. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let one slide.
Sure.
But then he's like, can I get some more ice? And I was like, sir, you're gonna have to buy something. Like, you can't just make drinks at the table. Like, it's not the kind of restaurant where you make drinks. You bring in one cocktail, fine, but you can't. I'm not letting you make cocktails in my restaurant. It's like pull out your own ingredients.
You can't even do that at like McDonald's, man. Like you'll get kicked out of Hardee's.
You gotta be good.
Yeah.
So when she sits down, she sets her Virginia Slims, lighter, little mini lady wallet, and phone. Takes up like a 2-foot square area where her stuff is. And I'm like, this is never going to go good.
Where am I going to put your food and drink?
Yeah. So, and it's the two of them and another lady. That lady was the only shining moment of this. So I bring out their salads, and she has seen me use Big Daddy Pepper. I am, however, busy because they have been a pain in the ass and slowed me down. So when I bring it over, I just grab the little ones right next to me. She goes, I don't get the big pepper grinder. And I was like, sorry, I'm real busy right now. I'll get it for you next round. She was like, I want the big pepper grinder. I want it right now. And I was like, sorry, I'm too busy. And I load this salad with pepper as fast as I can. And she's like, well, she's mad at me for not using something that's not required for anyone to use.
Yeah.
No one else in the room is using the goddamn thing. So she proceeds to just be Karen through. She does tip 18%.
Oh, wow.
After they were splitting the check, the couple and then the other lady. And I said, hey, I'll be out with you want dessert? Okay, I'll be out with your checks in just a second. I go to another table, and I come back. I'm walking back by. She goes, excuse me, hello, with the credit card waving it at me. And I was like, yeah, as I said, this is going on. So, now I'm taking my time. So I go back there.
Of course.
And I'm closing 4 tables at once. So I go close the 2 tables slowly but surely, go back to them. I'm nice. I drop her checks down. And I put the check down. She's waving it at me. She's holding it. So she just holds it in the air, straight up in the air. And so I proceed to take all the time I can. Like, you guys need water. You need 5 peppercorns.
Oh, my God. I love that handbag.
Yeah, I'm taking my time. She's like, excuse me. And I went, lady. And I just waved my arms. I was like, look at all this. The dining room was packed. There's only 2 servers in there. I'm like, look at this. Like, I'm sorry. Give me a second. So I get her checks, and I go back there, and I, clean up the bread station, and I do everything I can to not give this Karen.
Quick Sudoku puzzle.
yeah. Made a phone call, took a dump. It was great. So I give them the checks back. They go outside. The guy's gone to get the car. I don't get to see this Karen karma, but it happens. And hostess goes, so Karen went outside, sat on the edge of our flower pot where you don't sit to smoke. And she's sitting there. And when the guy pulls up, Karen's had too many of her own cocktails, stands up, slips, falls, hits her head on the sidewalk.
Ooh.
And even better, that to-go cocktail she had in her hand,
Goodbye.
all over her. And I didn't get to see it. I was like, no, I missed this.
Did you run out there with the giant pepper gun and go, here you go, bitch. You just got peppered. Here. Twist.
You got peppered, Karen. You got peppered.
Twist.
Oh, that would have been great. You should just stand up with. The hostess was like, yeah, she fell down. Wasn't that great? I'm like, I missed it.
Oh, I accidentally peppered.
Because I put myself almost in the weeds by trying to slow roll Karen.
Oh.
So just like grabbing her and taking off my Karen.
I accidentally peppered this.
Give me my headphone.
I accidentally peppered this sweet lady. So she's sitting at the outside bar yesterday. It was this really nice couple from, I forget where they were from, but they visit every year. And there's a giant fan blowing and an ashtray next to her. So I was walking out to take this ashtray away. So it wouldn't be in their presence because I could tell they didn't smoke and they were about to eat. And as soon as I picked that thing up,
Floof.
it was
all over.
It was like the Big Lebowski whenever they tried to dump his ashes out at the canyon. And all right, so it didn't all go on her, but I was like, "Oh my God, I just peppered you. I'm so sorry." She was like, "It's okay, baby." I was like, "Come here." I was taking a rag. I was like, "I'll wipe your face."
Are you patting your dry like you're her grandma?
Man, I've never. She goes, "Honey, it was fine. You've been so great." I was like, "I'm so sorry."
Because she's like, "Wah!"
I mean, it was just. I mean, just like Big Lebowski. I was like, "Oh," and she was like, it upset her because she was like, "It's okay."
God, that is a stank move.
So I was like, I'll buy you a shot or something. She was like, you don't have to buy me anything. I was like, I'll buy you a shot. Take this.
Speaking of stank moves, I had a friend of mine whose name I won't mention, but we'll just call her a white lady, was at the service for Frank on Friday, and good friend, known her for a long time, and she's much shorter than me. So I gave her, you're re-hugging people all night long. So I gave her a hug. She goes, do I smell a little bit? I was like, your hair smells great. She's like, no, I forgot to wear deodorant. Do I stink? So I crouch down to armpit level, and she puts her arm and most of boob in my face. And I was like, you do not smell great.
Not great.
Not great. But I was like, you're short. Like, you're not getting there.
Just don't do this hug.
Yeah. So if I'm hugging you like this and I don't wear deodorant, like you're getting an armpit of my funk. And she's like, yeah, I wonder if someone's got some deodorant. I'm like, actually, I know where something that'll help with the smell is. Because we're at the craft shack. Like, there's some body powder here in the employee bathroom. If you'd like me to get you some. And she went, they have that? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I was like, oh, you thought about it.
You thought about
gross.
it.
No, you just deal with it. You're fine. No one cares. Put some lemons and limes on it.
That's like if someone goes, do you hate me? You're like, no.
Yes, Scott Jacobs, I do hate you.
I think the Windrose is drunk now with all them.
I'm going to really enjoy this on Thursday at the Windrose, where I am right now.
Future me. Yeah, shout out to our friends, especially Studwell. He's so interactive with us on.
I love it.
And if any other, we have a P.O. Box 191, Tybee Island, Georgia, 31328. If your bar has any swag or merch you want to send us, we will wear it on the show and shout you out. Did you
I like that I asked Fro what time it is. He looks at his watch and I'm like, the time on the.
Did you I got to work on Saturday and Georgia was playing Samford.
Bulldogs.
Yeah, which the Bulldogs won no matter what.
The Sanford Bulldogs at Sanford Stadium. So that's Sam Ford at Sanford Stadium. And shout out to the person that runs the Huckapoo's Aficionado page. I won't call her name, but we say it rhymes with feather. She put Sanford playing at Sanford, and I was like, I won't mention this ever.
Well, I didn't even see that part. I was just like, is that an M or an N? Because I've got adult onset dyslexia now.
Yes.
From the COVID. So.
Yeah. So we beat the living. I mean, not terribly, but and some of our lesser. Studious of the game of football friends were like, we should have been melting the concrete on their ass. I'm like, guys, we're playing a team we're going
Are
to
you
win.
talking about Robert Kisabeth?
No, he understands this. Look, when you play this, you're playing down to an opponent. You're paying them to come play there. You're paying like $1.2 million to come play there, so they get some exposure, and you get to try out your second and third and fourth string guys, which is what we did. So that way, you're not driving it home like you do when you play number 11 Oregon and beat them 49-3. You just let everybody get a chance to play. So that's why you don't destroy them.
Yeah.
You do sometimes because it just happens no matter what. But people
Yeah.
were like, they should have been kicking the shit out of them. I'm like, that's okay.
There
was a lot of good football on Saturday.
Well,
so hold on.
okay,
So Alabama, Texas comes down to the wire. Alabama has 15 penalties, most in Saban era, and still got away with like 4.
Yeah,
and I'm like, there was a safety, there was some bullshit that they should have had, which would have then made Texas win the game. Like Texas got robbed. But you know what? Winky likes Texas, so that sucks for them. So yeah, there was other great upsets in the day.
Well, I had a group get there, and they got there like right when I was coming into work. They were like, "Hey man, we reserved the TV for Georgia Southern last night with Miss Stephanie," and I was like, "Whatever, I don't care." Like I didn't care after
they were playing Nebraska.
Yeah, I didn't care
Vaunted.
after Georgia played. So then Harold came up. He's like, "Hey, can we put it on the other game?" I was like, "Look, these guys were here first, literally. Like, you'd be upset if I switched it on you." Well, the game that they're waiting on doesn't come on yet because Kansas State and someone's going into overtime.
Yeah.
So
4.5-hour football game, by the way. It's like the second longest football game ever. Something 7 overtime.
I was there for it. So then this group of like 6 people that have the loudest voices and drink a beer a minute are waiting on. So they've got the Southern game on their phone. Finally, the Southern game comes on, and it's dragging on. All of a sudden, it's the fourth quarter, and I do not like these people were.
You're now cheering for Nebraska?
Well, this guy kept being all right. Georgia Southern. We live in Georgia. People live in Statesboro. There's a lot of alum around here.
It's also in Savannah now.
But no one's that gung ho and crazy about Georgia Southern football.
I mean, sometimes because they're playing Nebraska, but like you're not going
to high five everyone in the room like Georgia.
No.
Okay. Every time anything happens, this guy's got his arms up, and never once did I touch his hand.
Oh,
so he's the leader.
You should have poked him with your finger in the middle of his hand.
He's the leader of the group,
like you do when you shake hands.
He's ordering. Oh yeah, I should have went. He might. Pinched his nipple. He would have left me alone there. So he's looking for high fives everywhere this entire time. Here we go, fourth quarter. There's like 2 minutes left. And they're now Georgia Southern's up by 3, and Nebraska's about to kick a field goal to put this goddamn thing into another overtime.
And I was like, oh my God.
I will not survive this overtime. The guy missed the kick. The Georgia Southern fan thought I was such a huge Georgia Southern fan right then. I was like, no, I'm a fan of that kicker missing that fucking field goal, so I don't have to be. I'm gonna close y'all out now. I mean, they literally drink a beer a minute. Like, I could barely open anyone else's beer before they were like, oh, no.
You're like, leave.
Yeah.
You should have given some Twisted
Teas. They don't do the buckets anymore? Come
here. What'd you say? Couldn't hear you.
They don't do the buckets anymore?
Here's the thing. So, we had a bucket special on Friday.
Yeah.
Right?
Lights?
No, they were Classic City Lager, Athens, Georgia. So, we had a bucket special. Well, on Sunday, all the buckets are gone, right?
Right.
And our ice machines don't work that well.
Wait, you get the bucket when you get the bucket?
I don't know. Maybe
you keep the bucket.
Maybe. I guess I wasn't there. So people are asking me for these buckets.
House. It's like 30 buckets at his house.
People are asking me for these buckets, and I'm like, number one, we don't have the ice to put in these buckets. I have to put ice on my beer in here.
Yeah.
So I started taking a few of the signs down. I was like, look, the beers are still $2 a piece, whether you get them 5 at the time or not.
Right.
But I was like, we literally don't have the infrastructure to fill up a bunch of buckets of ice.
Yeah.
It's just during the summer, all of our ice machines are outside.
Yeah.
And they work overtime.
All of everything is outside.
Everything, yeah. And they're working overtime. And then, I mean, I have to get ice during the summer, like
especially
every
after Friday
15
and
minutes.
The drag show. They do a lot of ice for the drag show.
Yeah.
You got to shrink things up.
Oh, yeah. Got to tighten them up.
If any ice froze leg from getting fell on. Jesus
Christ.
Did it really get landed on, or?
I mean, she brushed it going down.
Yeah.
I mean, he left because of it.
I think someone showed me a video of it.
Yeah, that was like.
Well, if you're friends with Amanda on Snapchat, she videoed, I think, the entire drag show and the whole night. It was like, I was like, okay, it's too long. Like, it's every bit of it. It's like Tybee Idol. People just.
Who did that?
Amanda has a ton of videos, so she might have it.
I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah, we'll see if we can.
Shout out to Amanda.
Yeah.
Good listener. Good.
We'll see if we can get the clip in. And we had some Green Bay fans there yesterday that had been there since before.
Yesterday was the first day of the NFL.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't that bad.
We'll get into my shame in a minute.
Go ahead and get into it.
Well, Dallas Cowboys. I'm a Cowboys fan.
And make this quick, please.
My dad's from Dallas, and yeah. So long story. My dad was born in 19. And so the Cowboys got the shit kicked out of them by the Tom Brady-led Bucks last night, a lot to 3. And in the process of that, the Cowboys lost their number 1 safety, and a little-known man named Dak Prescott broke his hand.
Dakota Prescott.
Dakota Prescott, yes. Old Dakota.
Don't try and church it up, Dirt. Your name's Dakota.
Dak Oda. But anyways, Dak Oda broke his hand, out for 8 weeks. The Cowboys didn't look great anyways, and then this is just a.
Was there a drag queen involved?
It was a DAC queen. But it's not. Look, it already wasn't going to be a good season, and I was like, well, it's weird. You kind of just know week one, it's over.
Yeah.
It's a very odd feeling, unless they go get a great quarterback and things somehow magically happen. But for the most part, like, we're doomed.
Premonition.
But the Bears won.
Hey.
Did you see the highlights from the Bears game? They were sweeping the field of water before the game. It was a flood. They had like 4 inches of water.
Didn't they used to do that on purpose at like Green Bay or something because they were used to? Yeah, they were used to playing in it or something.
I mean, at the end of the game, Justin Fields, the quarterback that won the game, like dove and slid like 30 feet because it was so wet. And there was a guy, there's a video of this big old hunk of a man just rounding all the ways. He's trying to eat his popcorn, and like the flood waters above him break, and it goes into his popcorn bag, and he's just like, he froze like that.
That hurt him. Speaking, interesting side note. Speaking of the Queen, didn't she live as long as 64 Browns quarterbacks?
59 Browns quarterbacks.
59 Browns quarterbacks.
For her entire thing.
That's a lot of quarterbacks for one
like
NFL team.
And all that,
the Cleveland Browns. That's a lot of quarterbacks.
The Cleveland Browns won.
Oh, wow.
A house divided. Kissabeth and Sydney, who's right in front of me now. Hey, girl.
I think Sydney.
So she picked the Browns in our survivor pool, and Rob picked the Panthers. He's a Panthers fan, which Baker Mayfield, who played for the Browns, now plays for the Panthers, and lost to his old team.
Another Queen quarterback.
Yeah, half that survivor pool went down. Like 42 of us, like 21 of us went down.
Well,
So Paxton's really enjoyed all this football.
I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to call Last Call now, which is a segment we've been trying to do. So play that message that we got sent. Oh, wait, we didn't get sent any. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this segment is called Last Call. If you would go to anchor.fm/from behind the barcast and leave us a voice message, we will play it on the air.
At this point, it doesn't matter like how just bad it is.
You could say go Bama or something. You could.
Whoa. That is not your last call.
Hit him with the bulldog and the Thor's hammer.
Yeah. All the pain. Rammer, jammer, take this hammer.
All right. Well, let's get to that F count there.
So on the Patreon, we're going to discuss some. Let's let that song play. We're going to discuss some ideas sent to us by one of our Patreon listeners about things we should do on Patreon because we'd like your ideas. If you're subscribed to our Patreon, give us some ideas. We will do our best to discuss them as long as they're not too cunty or something.
Yeah. Leave us a voicemail, send us an email, carrier pigeon, and give us the F count, bro.
Pretty light this week.
Pretty light, yeah.
2 for me and 1 for each of you.
He had 2. You missed one earlier.
You have 2?
No, he's wrong. Whenever I went over there to look, I was like, he missed one. I'm not going to say anything. But then we got old snitch Clint over here. God.
Snitch britches.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you to Sydney and the Windrose. Thank you guys. We appreciate you.
I enjoyed my time with the Windrose, I think.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I hope you're having a good time.
Yeah.
And we love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Patreon.
Good night.